Welcome everybody to the first part of this workshop in clearing, grounding and protecting. And if you've come to join on this workshop, you will have in some ways been treading the path of a healer or even going on the path of helping other people or even working on your own spiritual development. And grounding, protecting, and clearing are three really key ways and key practices that you should have in your toolkit to use every day. So these are literally your spiritual gymnastic practices. And some of them can be quite gymnastic. It depends on where your imagination takes you. The reason that I decided to put this workshop on was because I feel it's so important to look at this from a spiritual perspective as well, because the energies that we work with when we are actually out there transmitting our energy through any modality, be it sound or energy healing, or even through storytelling, we're actually opening ourselves up. Emotionally, we're opening ourselves up spiritually, we're opening ourselves up and giving out. And when we open up, we need to learn how to close down again. So the grounding part of the workshop is the basic technique of feeling inside your body, like you are present inside your body, and yes, that you are connected to the ground. Grounding is different to earthing. Earthing is a healing practice where you either get a sheet which sends the earth's energy through the sheet, or you go out and you bury yourself under the ground under all the mud. That's a really amazing healing practice called earthing. And yes, of course, it's grounding, but it's not necessarily that. To be grounded, you have to be standing on the earth. That's not the case at all. Protecting yourself is something which can sometimes rub people up the wrong way. A lot of people can say, why do I need to be protected? I don't believe that there's anything that can harm me, and there's nothing out there that wants to harm me. It's not always about getting harmed. Protection isn't always about getting harmed. Protection is about having your central focus or your intention so strong that nothing can actually wobble you off it. So in order to do that, you're actually protecting your focus, you're protecting your intention, you're protecting your energetic channel that you're sending out from interference. And yes, you can actually go out and protect yourself from loads of other events using protection techniques. For example, people can send psychic attacks knowingly or unknowingly. Everybody has probably at some point or the other been in a car where somebody's done something that's made you flinch a little bit, and you've sent a thought to them. You might have sent a finger to them as well. You might have sent anything across to them. And I know I will have had a few in my short driving career, but what they are darts. You're sending a thought across, and thoughts are energy. Thoughts create a vibration, and that vibration is going to travel through space and time and reach the other person. So on an unconscious level, we could be constantly picking up psychic attacks. So a psychic attack isn't like someone wearing a balaclava running in with an upside down crucifix and chanting at you. That's not necessarily a psychic attack. Psychic attack can be quite simply somebody sending out a negative thought across to you. And those kind of things are what we're going to learn to protect ourselves from. So we learn the areas of our energy system that we can focus on to prevent receiving those psychic attacks and those thoughts. And we can even work a way to either transmute them or send them back. Clearing is also another great thing to do. It's a continuous practice, clearing, and we're going to learn clearing with respect to actually cleansing the energy system of anything that it may have picked up during a healing session or during a workshop session, because inevitably we can be a little bit like Velcro and we can pick things up everywhere. We need to give our energetic Velcro a clear up, wash down, and to make it nice and fresh and sparkly. So we're not carrying anything that is unnecessary to carry from any kind of sessions that we've done. So with grounding, and we're also going to look at opening ourselves up and closing ourselves down. Whenever we begin to think a certain way, we're opening ourselves up to that way of thinking. For example, if I picked up a spiritual book off my bookshelf and started reading it, I'm opening myself up spiritually. The same thing is if I started to look through some old photographs of my past, of loved ones who've passed over, I'm opening myself up emotionally and spiritually. If you go to the gym and you're doing a big workout, you're opening yourself up physically. And whenever you're focusing on something, any kind of piece of work, you're opening up mentally. So opening up and closing down can happen in all aspects of life, but we're really going to look at the spiritual opening up and closing down, because it's really important to focus on that as light workers, energy healers, shamanic practitioners, whatever you'd like to call your pathway into energy work. So grounding is an amazing practice to do at any point during the day. And what grounding is to me, this is my experience of grounding. It's being aware of myself in my body as I am walking upon this earth. And that's not something that I've always been aware of. I used to be completely unaware of my body, my connection to the earth, and what it felt like to be inside myself. And that for me was a side effect of trauma, a traumatic life. People who've lived traumatic lives, they find it very difficult to be inside their body because they're going to bump into something that reminds them of something horrible that's happened to them. So that can cause an ungroundedness. That can cause you to want to be more in your head or more outside of your body than in your body. And also what can cause that, another side effect of that is if you bump into things a lot, it doesn't mean all through your life, but it just means at certain periods of the day, if you've bumped into something, or let's say, I don't know, you've reversed your car into something you shouldn't have reversed it into. That can be a symptom of being ungrounded. Also, not being aware of what's happening around you is another symptom of being ungrounded. If you work in an office or you're constantly on a computer or always on a telephone, your mindfulness, your awareness is going to be directed on the computer screen or in the telephone. That means you're not in your body and you're not connected to the ground. So you're completely ungrounded all day. So a lot of people who do spend 8 hours a day at work in an office, they're focusing on a computer screen or a telephone, they're completely ungrounded unless they've learnt techniques they can use to ground themselves to bring them back in the body. Spiritually, when we're working with spiritual practices, the reason why we want to be grounded is so that we can be strong, so that we can be unwavering, so that we are not holding on to anything that comes to us energetically, When you're grounded, you become almost like the earth wire in a plug. So any energy or feelings that come to you for a specific task, anything that's left over will go down into the ground. So it's grounded through your body. It's always good to remember as well that your feet themselves actually have energetic openings on them that you can send energy through. They've got chakras on the base of your feet. You got chakras on the palm of your hand. Chakra, in terms of what we're discussing, is going to refer to an outlet of energy, because we're going to work with sending energy through ourselves so that we can send it into the ground. And when we are grounded, it also enables us to move higher and further up into higher dimensions. It really does help you to access, not just access higher dimensions, but bring the information from higher dimensions and higher realms down to the ground. It's very possible to be ungrounded and to travel into a very high flying far dimension. You can do that, but unless you've got something connecting you to the ground, you can't bring that information back. So if your foot is touching the ground and you're stretching up, you've grown a set of angel wings and you're flying right up there, as long as you're stretching your foot like an elastic band and you're going up there, you're still able to bring down that information, that energy and light from the highest place that you connect to. So how can you remain grounded and corded to the ground? Well, we're going to do an exercise, and this is just an example of an exercise. You can change, adapt it, or work with it in your own way. But this exercise is a really good one. It's a strong one for grounding. So what we do with this grounding exercise is we're going to imagine that we've got a boulder attached to either a rope or a wire. And this is all working obviously with your imagination. If you want to have some physical aids for helping you ground, you can have some jasper crystals around you. There are other grounding stones, but I find jasper is the most grounding because it looks basically like a brick. The color of it is quite the orange jasper, red jasper is very, and you can buy huge lumps of it. To ground yourself with that physically, you just leave it around your feet. You don't have to touch it. You can just leave it around the feet. But the journey with the mind, the imagination journey to help you ground is like this. So we'll go into it. I'm going to record this on Audacity as well, so I can send out a recording. Okay, so we're about to take a journey into grounding ourselves so that we are connected, first of all, to our bodies, and second of all, to the earth. And to do this, I'd just like you to sit comfortably, breathe gently and easily, and make sure if you're seated that your feet are flat against the ground so that you can feel the solid surface beneath your feet. And at the moment, you're going to feel that the ground and your feet are quite separate. But eventually, you're going to understand that, in fact, your feet and the ground are one. Because not only do your feet touch the ground, but the ground also touches your feet. And then you can start to be curious about where your feet end and where the ground begins. And in that space between feet and ground, do you feel a gap or do you feel a connection? And rock your feet from side to side on the ground. And then rest the feet on the ground. I'd like you now to draw your attention to the base of your spine, the base of your spine against the seat or the surface beneath it. And again, I'd like you to send the same curiosity to the part where your base of your spine touches the surface beneath it, and also where the surface beneath your spine touches the spine. And notice to see if there is a gap between that surface and the base of your spine, or if it's joined. Rock your body from left to right just to notice the sensation of the spine and the base of the spine against the seat beneath it. You're doing very well. This really is grounding 101. So now you're completely aware of the points of contact between your body and the surfaces beneath them. We're going to, in our mind's eye, use our imagination to visualize a large, heavy boulder which is attached to a rope or a chain. Notice the colour of the boulder and the texture of the boulder. The other end of the rope or chain is attached to the base of your spine. And I'd like you to roll the boulder into the earth so that it sinks through the ground, moving with good impetus, but not with force, through the earth, through the different layers of the earth, all the while connected to the base of your spine. You may feel that you start to feel an expansion or a release in the spine. You may feel that you're feeling a lot heavier than usual. When the boulder has made its journey and all of the rope has been tightened and there is no slack left, I'd then like you to imagine another 2 boulders, one on each foot. The heavier the boulder, the higher you get to fly. Just like the roots of a tree. The further down into the earth they grow, the higher the tree and the branches can reach. Let the 2 boulders from each foot sink into the earth, into the ground now. And you may notice that your feet feel heavier than usual. Feet feeling so heavy, almost as if They're glued now to the ground. And you may even feel that even if you tried to lift your feet up from the ground, even if you tried, you wouldn't be able to because you're so grounded. And you'll notice as well that even if you tried to lift yourself up from the seat at the moment, no matter how hard you tried, you would not be able to because you are grounded successfully. Now that you're grounded into the earth, I'd like you to start to imagine the earth itself is sending pulsated waves of energy. The boulders that are in the earth are receiving pulsating energy. And that pulsating energy is traveling through the ropes or the chains, where it's reaching your feet and the base of your spine. Rolling waves of energy from Mother Earth. And allow that energy to grow through your body. And as it grows through your body, just allow it to spread through your legs, your calves, and your knees, your thighs, your hips, your lower back, your spine receiving this gentle, pulsing energy from the earth. And as you receive this gentle pulsing energy, you allow it to move into your solar plexus. From your solar plexus, moving up to your heart center. Your heart center spreading up to your throat, into your brow, where it reaches the crown of your head, pulling energy up from the earth, pulsing waves of energy, sending this pulsing wave of energy through your base chakra. Notice its rhythm and its cycle. Into your sacral chakra. You may feel that your lower back and your hips begin to loosen as this happens. Moving up into your solar plexus, which is the seat of clairsentience, the psychic power of feeling, clairsentience. Moving up into your throat chakra, the area of your throat pulsating, which is the center of communication, of smell, of taste, and of clairaudience, the ability to hear on the psychic planes, clairaudience. And moving up to your brow area, the brow chakra, the chakra of telepathy, clairvoyance, where your guides present you with images and colours. Bringing this grounded energy, this energy pulsating of the earth now into your crown, the area just slightly above your head, the top of your head, and allowing that energy to pulsate there now. You're completely grounded, completely aware of your connection to this energy from the earth and how it is a part of you. And now, as you are there, I'd like you to go up with this energy as high as you can. Let those pulsing rolls move higher past the crown chakra, rising up into the sky and the ether, allowing you to rise up into the heavens and beyond. Go up as high as you can, connected by this rolling wave of grounded energy. Further and further, almost as if you're attached to the string of a kite. The string of the kite are the ropes or the chains attached to your boulders, and you can fly higher and higher with more power and more force until you reach the highest space you can reach, and you meet with light. Go up higher until you meet with a point of light. And this light is all that is. Connect to it and feel its energy as it merges with the pulsating waves of the earth. This divine light merges with that light, and you are the central part, the conduit. And as you're sitting comfortably, I'd like you now to draw this merging of energy into your heart center, into your chest, and allow this part of your energy system to expand. Visualize the light around your body at this area, in this space, beginning to expand to about 1 meter either side of you, in front and behind you, above and below you. Perhaps it expands lightly at first and softly, but as it expands, it's filled with denser, bright light from the heart center. And you find yourself looking for the space where your energy ends and the universe begins. Just as you touch the universe, so too does the universe touch you. And feeling where you end and the universe begins. Or perhaps there's just no point of separateness. There just is. And we'll just return to expanding the awareness of this state. This is sitting in the power. This really is sitting in the power. And as we're sitting in this power, I'm going to invite you to open your eyes and remain grounded, connected, and in the power. And notice how different your awareness and your consciousness is. So yes, you'll find that connecting to the earth and allowing the earth's energy to be present and felt and become aware of it. It's not so much allowing the earth's energy to become part of you. It's more the case of noticing the earth's energy within you, because it's always within you. So that wave of energy that comes through mind, heart, and body coherence, due to being still and centered, will bring that wave of energy. Now, that in itself is protective, because you're connected to the greatest mass of anything that we know of, which is the earth, the core of the earth. And so you'll begin to feel very strong, and strength is protection. And that is another part of it. So learning to feel the earth's energy moving through you and growing with it. It's good to come up with a tree analogy as well. If you're doing a visualization and you've used the boulders, add in the tree as well. Imagine that you're not just a person being rooted, you're also a tree being rooted, so that you feel protected by the earth and also by tree. And you will start to feel that feeling of being nurtured by that energy that you're drawing up. And that does lead us on to the part of protection. Now, the key thing for protection is to know that you are protected. And knowing you're protected is something that you're going to establish your own relationship with. Kate's just waiting to get in. Look, she's bumped off. Oh, so believing that you're protected infers that there may be a chance that you don't believe it. Knowing that you're protected means there is no doubt on this existence. There's no doubt at all of that you're protected. And also, doubt is something that would infer that you are not feeling protected. So in order to be protected, you need to find a way to, and it sounds easy when I say it, renounce doubt, renounce fear, uncertainty, renounce ignorance, when you renounce those things, and we'll going to do that next week. There's some really strong cord cutting exercises and belief changing exercises we're going to do to bring that renouncement of doubt in. Also, protecting yourself from doubt and fear is something you have to practice. So being single focused on one thing. So that grounding exercise, for example, you completely focused in on the visualization and the journey. There was no wavering on it. Perhaps that was because you were following, I was guiding you and you were following what I had to say. You were being held, you know, like a baby being held and looked after and nurtured by its mother. Now, if you're doing that alone by yourself, you're going to start to get monkey mind a little bit. You're going to start to get drawn into other thinking, other voices, potentially other psychic effects that are happening around you, meaning that other thoughts are coming towards you. whilst you're trying to sit down and imagine two boulders going into the ground. That is the practice. Okay? So practicing your grounding techniques in your own time and building resilience against other distractions. I don't know if you've ever seen Keanu Reeves in the Little Buddha movie where he's sitting at the tree and he's meditating. He's achieved nirvana. He's just sitting there beside the tree with his legs crossed and he's meditating. And all of these demons just appear around the tree at him. And they're all firing arrows. They're all coming to try and distract him from meditating, because the moment he falls off his meditation spot is the moment all of those fears are going to get him. So he just remains there, and they throw fireballs at him. They throw poison arrows and darts at him. They send naked women dancing up to him. He does not move or break his meditation. Therefore, his single focus has protected him 100%, and his knowing that he is infallible during that time is also protecting him. And so it really is about practicing and building that strength, because the more you build that strength, the more capacity you're going to have to do bigger work. You're going to be able to take on, or you will be presented with things you need to fix that get bigger. If you know what I mean, you'll be able to help people more, basically, and you'll know you're being called to help people more because you'll have bigger things landing on your doorstep, right? Those things won't land on your doorstep unless you've got the strength and protection that you need to do it. So know that the universe will only send you that which you're capable of. So practicing your grounding and practicing your single point of focus and your concentration is going to increase your capacity to deal with those fireball throwing demons, right? Because in order to heal the fireball throwing demons, you need to sit in their presence, find their heart center, and flood loving energy into their heart center. And you can only do that once you've renounced the fear of their fireballs. So yes, protection is something that a muscle that you should also practice on a daily basis. You can protect yourself with visualizations of a cloak, for example, in the morning when you leave your room. Can imagine that you're putting on a cloak, which is a protective cloak. And this protective cloak allows you to be impervious to fear, doubt, and distractions. It can be a reflective colour, such as a white colour, or it can be a silver colour, or it can be a golden colour. When it's a reflective colour, what that does is it reflects any darts or thought forms. A thought form is a thought so strong that you can feel it. And we've all felt that. In spiritual practices, it's called a thought form or an egregore. They can be created, particularly if there's a group of people believing the same thing. The power of that thought can become a palpable and tactile entity. Now, it could be an entity for really good, or it could be an entity that's perhaps a little bit fearsome. We can all sit down and create a good entity, and most of us, most of the world do sit down creating good thought forms. Some people consciously make good thought forms, some people unconsciously make good thought forms, just as there is for the reverse of that. Some people consciously are making it, some people are unconsciously making it. But what we wear is a cloak of protection, perhaps, or we surround ourselves in a ball of white light energy. So that would mean before you leave the door, you close your eyes, you imagine from your heart center, there's a ray of light coming out, and it just coats you in a film of white, gold, or silver light. And that is your reflective layer. And people will notice a difference because they won't come to throw darts at you because they'll know that it's useless. Again, it's a practice. So you can start on day one with a cloak or a ball of white light around you. Now, if you're doing a ball of white light, make sure that the base of the ball or the base of the egg goes into the ground. Okay, so it goes around your feet and just under your feet into the ground. And same with the cloak. If you're going to wear a cloak, make sure the back of the cloak touches the ground. That's really important because it means that your protection goes from above you all the way around you and underneath you. And it's always good to do a protection of a room that you're always living in. So if you've got your house or your living space, add a protection to your living space so that you know that you don't have to wear your protection when you're in that living space. So you could imagine that white ball of energy or that cape or cloak or a shield or whatever it is that is the metaphor for protection for you. Imagine that around your house as well. And just like anything, the more you practice it, the stronger it's going to get. Okay, it's just... So you can also use bubbles, or you can use a ring of an element around you. If you want to use a circle of fire around you, you can use your finger, or you could even go and get yourself a wand or a stick or anything that you want to use as a ritual object. And you draw the circle around you clockwise is creating and opening up to protection. So whenever you draw something clockwise, you're bringing the energy into it. So if you draw a circle of fire with your finger around you in a clockwise direction, you're invoking the energy of fire in a circle around you, and that becomes your protection. You can also invoke a circle of violet flame, for example. There's lots of books out there about magical protection, spiritual protection, and they're really good reads. It's really interesting to get stuck into them. One of them is definitely using the violet flame, which is literally, in a nutshell, imagining that flame of violet fire around you in a circle. And that is used to transmute energy. So should negative energy come towards you in that violet flame, it's transmuted, it's changed into neutral energy. And you can also ask archangels to protect you. One very popular archangel for protection is Archangel Michael, who carries a sword of light. The sword of light will protect you. So like I say as well, groundedness brings you great protection. Being grounded brings you protection already, but you want to add a bit more consideration to the energies that are coming your way on the street or in public spaces as well. For example, if you're going to sit on a bus, on the seat on a bus, and someone's just got up from it, what I would recommend you do is you send a clearing light ray. Now we're starting to sound like superheroes, we are. You're going to imagine that you're sending out a cleansing energy to that chair that you're just about to sit on, because you will be sitting down on their energy. So their thought forms, their mood, their vibration, you're about to sit down in it. So before you do that, send forward the intention that you're just going to clear that. So you clear what was there, and then visualize yourself sitting down in the chair before you sit down in it. That means you've actually prepared that space you're going to sit down in energetically. So you've cleared the energy by sending out a light or a flame or any kind of good vibes to that space. And then you're sending a projection of yourself just by imagining yourself then going to sit down in it. That means you've just put your energy into it and then you go and sit in it. This sounds like going about life on a day-to-day basis has just got like 10 times as hard. But once you start to put these practices into place, they become second nature. So they can happen like in a split second. Somebody stands up, you want to sit in their seat, you send out a clearing world to it, and then you send yourself sitting in there, and then you go and sit down. It can happen in a split second eventually, but getting used to it does take practice. We're going to go into a clearing practice now. Oh, here we go. Yes, just know that you're protected. Like I said, knowing that you're protected is far superior to believing you're protected. Knowing is greater. Oh, hello, pussycat. Knowing is greater than believing. Renounce your doubts and renounce your fear. Also, you can use symbols such as a crucifix, an equal-sided cross like the medicine wheel, an ankh. You can use the Eye of Horus symbol. This is physically drawn or as a piece of jewellery. I'm wearing the Laughing Buddha as a protector because laughter banishes heavy dark energy. So anything that comes towards that is being laughed off. That to me makes me no protection. Laughing at things, being able to laugh is a great safety mechanism. The Hand of Fatima, which is that hand that you see all over the place sometimes. A flaming torch. You can use a Star of David. You can use the Tree of Life. And the symbols can be worn or they can be drawn out and left somewhere. Like underneath your bed, underneath the doormat. You can leave them on the door frame, you know, as people come in. I believe there's some religious practices where they have something on the door frame that you touch for protection. There's all kinds of ways to bring physical objects into becoming talismans as well. So talismans. Also colours. Some colours can feel very protective. Heather, you're off. See you later, darling. Thanks for joining us. I'll send you the recording. Colours are brilliant as well. And you can also, as if you've been practicing shamanic journeying, you can go on a journey and ask for a tutelary spirit, which means one of your spirit guides, to appear in a protective capacity. And then you'll see what your protection is, and you can call upon that guide for protection in future. One kind of spirit guide is called a body protector, and it's usually your middle world spirit guide, which is the spirit guide which protects you in the middle world. And don't worry if your spirit guides change frequently. That's normal. The thing is, it's always spirit appearing to you in an animal form. So the essence is always spirit, but spirit may appear to you in the form of different animals and different spirits going around. So let me just have a look at my notes. Does anyone have any? Oh, here's a good one. A diving bell. If you want some major protection, let's say you're going into a room where you just know there's going to be some energy you want some protection of, you're going to want to then really ramp up the protection, the stakes of protection. You're going to be like, I'm going into this room and I don't like any of the energy that's in there and I really don't want to absorb it. So I'm going to imagine before I go in that I'm wearing a diving bell over my head. Literally a great big diving bell. And if you want even more protection, put on the full diving suit and the big heavy lead boots. This is in your mind, of course. If you've just joined in, this is not in ordinary reality, putting the diving bell and the diving suit on. Can you imagine walking into a meeting wearing a diving suit and people say, why are you wearing that? You can say, sorry, it's just because I don't like the energy in the room. I can imagine going to do that one day. I will. Also, so you've got some protecting crystals. Black tourmaline creates a protective shield around you. Similarly for obsidian, amber, amethyst, jade, jet, carnelian, and sodalite. All protective crystals. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out wearing all of those crystals at once either. But if you're looking for, if you do like material things to represent protection, try some of those crystals. You can also get protective aura sprays. I make them. Making them is very easy. Lots of people have different ways, but I use 3 parts water, 1 part vodka, and then drink it. No, 3 parts water, 1 part vodka, and then some essential oils that I really like. Some essential oils you can get are really protective, but I will wear the one that makes me feel the best and the strongest and most grounded. So finding the essential oils that make you feel nurtured and looked after and shielded are important. There is one called Angel Sword, but that is a floral essence. Angel Sword floral essence. You can get that as a very good protective. It's a very strong protection, Angel Sword, and it's also good for reversing psychic attacks. And yarrow oil is also very good. And maybe you both know some others, because Kate, I know you're really big with herbs and protective herbs. So if there's any that you know of, what would you use?
Well, there's one called Purple Loosestrife. And that's amazing protector. That would be my go-to really, but yarrow too. Yarrow's amazing. internally, externally, the works, you know. But for protecting, I would definitely use purple loosestrife. In fact, actually, it also heals the land. You know, like when Monsanto put all PCBs in the land, it actually reverses the chemical damage done from those. So it really is an amazing protector. And I've literally harvested some. So maybe I might make us a protector or something like that. So yeah,
Be great.
yeah, yeah. And I'll bring it on, you know, that thing that we're doing, the shamanic thing.
The end of September, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I could also I'll have a look for yarrow. Unfortunately, Jimmy just recently cut the grass in our fields. So I'll have to go further afield and have a look and see if I can find some yarrow, but um, to make some oil. But if not, I can make some purple loosestrife because I got that in the garden.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Can now I'm back on. Sorry, can I go back to
So we're going to talk a little bit more about clearing and closing. The start of our session tonight, we really opened up our energy. And the opening up of our energy part of the initial exercise was the bit where we expanded light from our heart center. That is opening up the energy really big style. So going into the ground with the boulders is grounding. Connecting to the energy from the earth is the part where the waves of energy from the earth are coming through you. That's connecting to groundedness still. And then being able to expand that upwards is going vertically to find the higher power to be able to climb up further. It's still a part of grounding. The part that was about opening and expanding was where the ground energy and the etheric energy merged together in the heart center, and that started to expand to about 1 meter either side of you. And then when you started to consider the universe touching you and you touching the universe, that's when you've opened right up, okay? So that kind of thought, I'm touching the universe touches me, is really opening you right up. So from that point on up until now, you've been very open. We're going to, at the end of the session, look at closing that down and also securing and switching into a more ordinary mode, our energy centers. So at the moment, our energy centers are in extraordinary mode because we've opened them, we've connected them to the earth, we've talked a lot about energies, what can happen, creating good energy, what to do when we need to transmute energy, which was about when we do encounter energy that we don't consider positive, we have to be able to be strong enough to stand in its face, find its heart center, and squeeze love into it. Then we talked about, so all of these conversations we've had have opened us up and really kept us open. We're in big learning mode. We're also in a spiritually open mode as well. So we're going to talk about turning that all down and reducing it to becoming a ordinary mode. For some of us, getting to ordinary mode may actually seem extraordinary because we've lived our lives for quite a long time being very open and energetically big, that to actually go into a closed down mode that I'm calling ordinary mode may actually seem extraordinary because some people aren't used to feeling so limited in that perception of energy. but we'll get there. We're going to do another meditation, which is raising your vibration meditation. And then after this, we're going to close down. So I'm just going to open up my recorder again so I can record this meditation. So I can send it out to everybody. Are we recording? Yes, we're recording. Fab. So as we're sitting in the power, as it were, so being open, being connected and grounded is also known as sitting in the power. We're going to go in again to do a raising our vibration meditation. So I'd like you to get ready for a lovely meditation, please. If you can sit grounded, feet flat on the ground, spine in the position of being grounded. Search again for those waves of energy that came from the earth, that pulsation of energy. Remember that coherent feeling that was grounded. Connect the soles of your feet. Feel the boulders in the earth, connecting you to the ground. Become aware once again of that boulder which is connected to the base of your spine. All the while sending through to you waves of energy, making your brain, your heart, and your body coherent. You are grounded. And once again, I'd like to invite you to expand your perception upwards. Travel upwards to the single point of light that exists through the time and space above you. Moving first of all through the Earth's atmosphere. Noticing changes of matter and changes of space and how time itself changes once you move through the Earth's atmosphere and reach space. Still feeling the waves of energy that you are receiving from your groundedness. You travel further through space. Moving with the ebb and flow of the waves of energy that you're still receiving from the groundedness. Pushing and pulling you further out, as if you were at sea and yet anchored. Expand and lift yourself now to a single point of light beyond space and beyond the universe. And feel this light pulsating through your energy body. For now you are traveling merely through energetic waves. And the pulsar from this single point of light strobes through you. Pulsating information through your mind and your body, almost as if it was sending Morse code signals rapidly into your consciousness. This is your frequency rising. And through your body, you can compare this rapid pulsation and find a sympathetic rhythm that matches with the pulsation from the grounded energy. There is a harmony and a geometry between them. Feeling the pulsations of light flowing and the waves of energy growing up to your heart center, the meeting place of the pulsar and the earth energy. And allow your heart center now to expand and open with the energy of this light and the energy of earth. Sending this heart energy now around your whole body, a blend of celestial and earthly energies. Flowing and growing through the body. Allowing your vibration and your perception of vibration to expand. And as the body feels this merging of energy, the merging of energy starts to expand to outside your skin, into your aura. The energy around your body is the aura, a reflection, an extension. And from your aura, allow this energy to extend into even finer energies. This energy is flowing all around you. And you can choose to be the energy around you, and you can also choose to be the receiver of the energy. You are at once the transmitter and the receiver. And you are connected to all that is. And as we're connected here, we're going to do a great cleanse of our energy body. I'd like you to visualize within this energy a vortex with a centrifugal force spinning, spinning, spinning. And as this light and force spins, it merges with each of your energy centers. And as it merges with the energy center, it clears and sends into the very center of itself anything which is needed to be cleared away. And we'll begin with the base chakra, the base of the spine. Visualize a red color here at the base of your spine. And notice the shape and the texture of it. If there are any dull spots or any discolored places, or perhaps any uneven areas of this color and energy center, we will send this vortex of light to overlay the chakra. And as it spins around the chakra, it sends into its vacuum with its centrifugal force all imbalances, clearing and cleansing, almost like a vacuum cleaner for any imbalances, any intrusions, any unwanted energies, cleared away by this vortex. And once this is cleared and balanced, then you will know to move the vortex up to the sacral chakra. The color here is orange, and the sacral chakra is between your belly button and the base of your spine. Notice the orange color and see if there are any areas which need clearing. And should they need clearing, send the vortex of light energy and allow it to process, vacuum, and remove any intrusions, imbalances, or lost parts. And moving up to the solar plexus, the color is yellow, a vibrant yellow glow. And should there be anything here which needs to be removed or cleared or cleaned, then allow the vortex to expand and begin the clearing process for the solar plexus chakra. And moving up to the heart center, vibrant spring green color. The color should be balanced, the shape should be even, the frequency should be harmonious. And allowing this vortex of light to merge with the heart center now, processing, filtering, hoovering with its centrifugal force any energies, any intrusions, any imbalances are cleared away through the central force of this vortex. And you'll now find that this vortex has been working on each area of energy as you've been progressively moving upwards through the energy centers. finishing off the work it started, and once it's finished, moving upwards. Moving upwards now to the throat chakra. The colour is blue, and anything that is imbalanced, imperfect, anything intruding into this area is now being cleared and cleansed by the vortex of white light. Moving up now to the brow center, the third eye chakra. The color is indigo, dark, dark blue. And should there be any areas of discoloration, any intrusions, imbalances, or any disharmonious parts, then the vortex of light will filter them out. And moving up to your crown chakra, the same process, allowing the vortex to clear all energy. And as we've reached the crown chakra, the vortex also creates a waterfall around you. And this waterfall clears your auric field, so the space all around you is now being cleared of all thought forms, all disharmony, all intrusions, and all imperfections are now being filtered by the centrifugal force of this great vortex of light. And as the aura is cleansing, we'll begin to close down the energy centers as they've been cleared. First of all, with the base chakra. Keeping the base chakra open and connected to the ground and the earth. We circle the base chakra with a protective light, white, gold, or silver light, so that the base chakra is open and connected to the earth, yet protected. We'll move up to the sacral chakra and we'll close a door down on the sacral chakra and take out a key to lock that door, reducing the awareness to a suitable level. Moving up to the solar plexus now to close down the solar plexus. We'll close a door on our solar plexus and we're going to lock this area 3 times. And in front of that triple locked door, we'll add a sheet of protective light. We'll move up to the heart center, where we'll gently close a door. And lock it safely with a key. And then to the throat center, closing a door down on the throat center. Up to the third eye in the brow chakra, closing down the brow chakra with a door, locking it with a key. And the same for the crown, closing the crown with a doorway and locking it with a key. And finally, surrounding yourself, not with a vortex of light now, but with a bubble of light. A bubble of light that gently nurtures you and cares for you, giving it a colour that represents a protective force for you. And this bubble touches the ground, merging slightly with the ground. And you'll notice that you've come down now from that high point of light. You'll notice that your aura has closed down to an appropriate level. You'll be able to release and recollect the boulders from your left and right foot. Notice how the cords have dissolved now, and the cord which attached you to the boulder, which was from your spine downwards, has also resolved itself and returned. You're now feeling light, balanced and strong, protected and cleared. And with this awareness, you can expand it by opening the eyes and being present, grounded, protected and cleared. So the clearing part of that meditation was imagining a vortex of light spinning, and as the vortex of light spins, you overlay that vortex of light on top of any energetic parts. So you might be working with chakras. So your base chakra is your health center. It's red, it's the color of blood, it's your physical health chakra. If you want to clean and cleanse your physical health chakra, you want to picture and visualize that red disc at the base of your spine and literally scan it for any imperfections, any dull colors, or any uneven markings or distortions. And when you see them, you send the vortex down, white light, almost like it's one of those, what are those big saws that light spins off them? I imagine it like that, like a big Catherine wheel. The Catherine wheel goes on top of the energy center, and there's a centrifugal force, obviously almost like a black hole. So anything that's not meant to be there on the chakra goes into the center of that force, that vortex, and is sent into the abyss. Ideally, your chakras want to be rotating clockwise, and the centrifugal force needs to be going in an anti-clockwise direction if it's taking away things. So if you're clearing away, you're removing, you go anti-clockwise. If you ever need to add energies in, you spin that direction clockwise, okay? And with that vortex of light, you can then move up to your sacral chakra, and the orange color there, you want to do the same, filter away, clear anything. You can move then up to your solar plexus chakra, which is your personal power center, heart chakra, throat chakra, eyebrow chakra, crown chakra. Now, when you get to your crown chakra, you then want to imagine that you've got a waterfall of this cleansing energy coming through you, and it's overflowing around into your aura. So then your whole aura, because we've cleaned our energy centers, but we also want to clean the auric field. So you have that vortex going around your auric field. And then center by center, you want to close them down after you've cleared them. So that can be closing a door on them. It can be slowing them down. It could even be turning off a light switch. Move through each chakra now. We keep the base chakra open because that's our health and our connection to the earth. We close the sacral chakra. We close the solar plexus chakra 3 times because that is an area where you can receive most psychic energy. So if you're being sent a psychic dart or a psychic flame ball, it's going to go to your solar plexus, okay? That is why we close that 3 times and we put a coating of light over it as well, reflective light. Heart center, close that door very gently. And you can even just have kind of a latch on it rather than a full locked door. You can just have a little latch. Throat center, you can close that down because it's a psychic center. The third eye center, you can close that down completely. Again, it's another psychic center. And the crown chakra, you close down completely. And once you've closed everything down, you should be feeling back into ordinary normality. If you happen to have cast a circle of an element around you, you also want to close that circle down by going anti-clockwise. And so that has given you an opening practice into grounding, protecting, and clearing. Over this week, until we get to next week, experiment, try new things, work with the visualizations, but do practice them because then you can come back next week with your experiences and with any questions, and I can help you out with those. So I'm going to stop recording and I'll keep us open for a bit just to do any shares. Thank you very much.